Let me just pull up my little notes and we can get started here. How is everyone liking your characters? Did anyone want to make any changes since last week?
I'm good to go with mine.
I've decided to commit suicide, so for the first 30 minutes, let's make a new character for him. I'm joking.
I'm good.
30 minutes. Wow,
I wrote 2,500 words, and the last sentence says, and then he killed himself.
After writing a enormous backstory, he's decided to get rid of the character.
If you
but
can do that
something.
4 times in a row, you can have enough experience to get your next character up to 5.
The free meal at Denny's.
That is one thing, though, is if you don't like your character, after one session, you can retire your character, and then we can make your new character, which we probably won't do on stream if we're just making one character. But yeah, so if you look at this map here, you guys are currently all in the town of Terran. And so Terran is right there. You see there's all those arrows.
Where is it? I can't find it.
Yeah. Let me add one. Yeah, it's right about here.
I know, I can't really see it. Maybe you could zoom in on it.
Is
a
it
little
over
bit
here?
for us.
So you're in the town of Terran. So and let me shift over to another map. This is the town of Terran itself. It's a small little town. Just on.
Just a little hill.
It's just a little town. It's a little town. It's of about maybe 225. Looking at this map here, there is a small palisade around the entire town. You'll see that's what this little thing looks like, a little like beaded necklace that goes around the town. These kind of they look like stone pieces around it. Those are actually small little gardens around the outside of the town that the people maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that did I switch everyone over to the right map?
I'm on it. It's good.
Right.
I must have been on the Roll20 for so long that it just didn't update me anymore, so I just had to refresh.
Okay.
Just making sure. I was. So it's the manor house itself is this large house here. I'll ask Griffin, what brings your character into the town of Terran?
Well, as far as useful skills go, I have salesmanship. I probably didn't come here alone. In fact, I probably came through with some sort of a merchant caravan to help them sell stuff off, and generally pretend that I can move things around. So I'm probably with a group that's coming through town to sell stuff. Maybe I stayed.
All right, so you've arrived, and you're kind of in this market square area. Maybe helping unload or helping do some of their sales pitch. You see that you're not really getting a lot of visitors. Most of the people seem to be somewhat preoccupied, and you're seeing a somewhat large crowd of people, especially large for this town. So it might be even 20 or 30 folks kind of gathered outside the manor house, and there seems to be some sort of commotion going on. What would you like to do?
Well, if it's taking away business, I may as well go check it out. So I'll just start wandering over.
All right. Mr. Coffee, Mr. Sesso, what brings you into Terran?
I'm looking for adventure, looking to smash some things.
All right, so you've just come into town. You would most likely be. Let me see. Let me peer through my little notes about this town. There is not really an inn in this town, and the town is small enough that it's mainly just village homes.
Yeah, in a town like that, without an established business, you generally go up to a house and ask for hospitality, and generally hope you get it.
That's
which is why hospitality rules used to be a really widespread thing for a while, because you could have just been traveling through.
So you're in this town. Maybe you found a spot where someone took you in, and maybe you did a little bit of work in exchange for the working in the woods outside, or maybe hauling water, maybe doing a little bit more manual work. But you're doing that, and you also kind of hear this general commotion happening outside the manor house, and maybe even one of the people that accepted you in has headed off in that direction. What would you like to do?
I want to make my way over there and see what all the commotion is.
All right.
Kind of push my way to the front.
Okay, so you're pushing your way to the front of the crowd. What about you, Karamikos? What has brought you into this town that you'd like to share?
I mean, maybe Dennis can correct me, but I would assume we'd be together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to go that route right away or not. I was kind of leaving it up to you.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that whatever we have going on in our backstory has happened before all of this.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
We're
to you to
traveling
correct.
together.
Yeah.
So, do you guys know your brothers then, or have you made that connection, or do you just like?
I would
have you just
assume
been
so.
united by your common lineage? Okay, just making sure. So you two both have kind of made your way there, and Karamikos, are you just following Sesso as he's going forward, or?
Yeah.
Okay, you're just following him to the front, and then it looks like you've settled on a name there, Chrissy Joe.
Yes, Finn.
Finn. What brings Finn to the town of Terran?
People with money.
People with money.
I basically go town to town, just trying to see how many people I can scam.
Have you been following the merchant caravan?
Nope, not that you know of.
Aha. That's what you said in the last 3 towns.
Mm.
I've had my eye on you because I'm playing the same game and I'm gonna get more.
Fair. So you've come to this town maybe following this kind of merchant tinkerer and his elven assistant. And you've been in the kind of common area, and you've been seeing, and the common area, by the way, is this main open spot in the middle of the village. And you've been kind of trying to drum up business, but you're seeing the exact sort of thing that Whirlin is seeing, where it seems like most of the folks seem rather distracted or too busy to stop and hear your pitch. And most of the folks that are out and about are actually up at this manor house and seem to be making some sort of commotion.
I head up that way.
All right. So the kind of mass of the mass of people outside the manor house they all seem sort of they're grumbling, but there's 2 what look like men at arms that are kind of standing by the door and kind of keeping people back from the door itself, and people are like, we can't sleep well, and different shouts of it's the damn spirits, and
The rent's too damn high.
Yeah, they're taking our jobs. There's a little bit of backstory. So if we move back to Slen, like kind of the larger regional map, we're in the town of Terran, and it's kind of right on the edge of the territory that Slen and Shinabeth both control and kind of contest. The territory that's kind of contested is it's kind of this bluish region is, and maybe a little bit higher is kind of the area that they all fight over. And the Corin Woods are actually used by Slen to attack Shinabeth, because Shinabeth is more they rely heavily on like formations of pikemen in kind of like hoplite formation, while Slen is more about like small unit tactics, because they have like these crazy fanatically religious barbarian berserkers. And so the woods are kind of how Slen harasses this other country. And so Slen is the highly religious fanatical group, and Shinabeth is more. I mean, they're supposed to be atheist. The King Jodo has proclaimed that no religion can practice in his country, and so in Terran, you're kind of on the edge of both countries' control, and mostly folks in Terran would probably agree with Shinabeth's opinion that they can't have religion, but you're just enough on the edge of control that there might be some people that still believe, or they're just so far out here that they're less regulated by the government or by military, imposing the government's thoughts on this town here. Yeah, it's either you worship the Flaymaster or you worship no religion. So they're not great choices. But these folks are kind of making this commotion. You hear them grumbling about it's in our dreams. There's something wrong. It's all happened after that big rain. And they're all hooting and hollering. And you see, can I have everyone roll? Everyone except for Karamikos, roll observation checks. And so this first observation check is going to be of average difficulty, which means you're going to. Yes, I'm going to let you know what you hear from this.
Talk me through that. This is my first.
Yeah. This
thing.
is your
What
first.
do I need to click on?
Roll. So you click. You open up your character sheet.
Yep.
And there's all these skills in red.
Gotcha. So I just need to click.
You've got two options. Observation is 2 spots. One, you can find the skill down this row, and all the red skills are alphabetical. Or at the very top of the screen, right below saving throws, is a quick references, and it's got listening and observation right there.
Oh, excellent. So
yeah,
I guess those are used often.
Yes, those are used often. So you just click that, and the point of an average difficulty check is to roll within 40% of your skill. So there's 2 ways you can think about it. You can either think about rolling the D100 and then subtracting 40, or you can think of your skill as just being 40 points higher. So in this case, usually I do your skill is 40 points higher. So in this case, your skill is a 52 because it's an average difficulty, and you're trying to roll under a 52.
Okay.
64 isn't below that. So both you and Sesso failed. So both of you are don't really pick up and see what's happening. What Karamikos, what you hear what sounds like a window opening above you on the manor house. And you hear a window open and close. And what Werelin sees is you see one of the windows above in the manor house open up, and you see someone. You see someone. It looks like maybe a highborn woman, or a highborn for this town at least, woman, kind of peer out and look through the crowd for a moment, and then you see her look around the crowd, and you distinctly see her make eye contact with you, because at this point you're seeing her, and you haven't made any point to hide, and so you see her and she sees you, and then the window shuts.
Interesting.
And there's several moments of you guys can, since you're being here in this crowd, what would you guys like to do in this kind of crowd of people? What you two have made your way to the front. It's Karamikos and Sisto. You've made your way to the front, and you're just kind of maybe your appearance of 2 half orcs has kind of made the guards a little uneasy. You see they've went from kind of that rest dealing with people they've grown up with their whole life to seeing 2 sort of unfamiliar, large, bulky foreigners in front of them, and so they've kind of, especially one being an obvious half orc and one a little bit less obvious.
I mean, I would argue that calling me calling me a half orc would be kind of hard to do. I am fully
Yes,
robed,
yeah.
masked.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
a figure in a cloak.
But that's still kind of an uneasy figure.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm a stranger. I'm just saying I'm not particularly a half orc stranger.
Yeah, it's not obviously a half orc, and they've kind of you see them kind of nervously shifting their feet back and forth, and they've kind of adjusting their hands on the. They've probably just got simple spears, and they're kind of adjusting it and fidgeting, but they haven't made any moves to like attack or keep you back. The crowd is in general kind of kept back from the doors itself. It just sounds like they're trying to make a ruckus towards this manor house in general.
Yeah, I think what I'll probably do is like, since I'm towards the back of the crowd, I'll like actually tap someone directly on the shoulder and go like, "What's all this nonsense about ghosts? And why is this manor house to blame?"
Oh, roll. Oh, you got one of the people next to you kind of. It's all these dreams we've been getting. It's been restless. It's all this damn. He looks at you. I honestly, it's those damn gods. They just can't stand that we said they couldn't come and bother our good folks. And so it's I think there's a priest around here somewhere sneaking around and he used that rain. The priests like rain. See, the rain allows them to slip between the raindrops and they can follow the rain and get inside your cabins. And once they're there, can't get them out. It's not like a rat, you see. A rat you can trap, but a priest, no. They're squirrely. A priest, they can wiggle.
Oh yes, they could just be hiding right in the walls.
Yeah, exactly. In the walls, I tell you. It's one of them. It's uneasy.
So you're sure there's someone in the area causing this?
Oh, definitely, sure, 100%. What? No, I don't trust those math people. That's why, 110%. That's how much I know.
Of
Don't
course,
let
you
him
have to
cut
show
you
them
out.
who's boss, who's smarter. You. Exactly.
And
You're a fine discerning individual. I can see that.
I thank you. I often say so myself. But Radke, he's seen some things. I tell you, I trust him. And
So why harassing the nobles then? Do you think they're just not doing anything about it, or do you think they're in on it? What's the deal with that then?
roll a glean informations check.
Okay. I think I might actually have that skill in the tiniest amounts.
That the tiniest amounts are mostly mostly
Than 0.
Yeah, it's better than 0, but you failed an average, but you got an easy to the next step down. So I mean, he's telling you some information, but you start asking more questions, and he raises an eyebrow and he kind of looks at you. You're an elf, aren't you?
Yes, very astute of you. I can see that you're still a keen individual.
Well, elves have those pesky little religions, huh?
Of course not. We're older than the gods themselves.
Older than the gods.
And
That's
better
a tough one to
too.
think about.
Why would we ever wish to worship something like that?
Older than the gods. Oh, that's baffling. He kind of goes into contemplation, but it seems like that's about as much as he's willing to tell you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Chrissy Joe, you're standing there, or you're Flynn standing there. What is she doing in the crowd?
She's
Or Finn. Sorry, I think I called her Flynn.
Finn.
Finn.
Finn, like Finn, which she's not. So Finn. She's just standing off to the kind of on the edges a bit. Just kind of watching what's going on. Staying a little bit close to Thalen. Always keeping an eye on those merchants, and so kind of just keeping an ear out. Doesn't really want to bring attention to herself, and so just more watching and keeping off to the side, just kind of looking around to see what's going on. So she would have heard some of what Thalen got told.
Okay. So you're standing there kind of watching, and what you see is coming up to this merchant is coming up behind him is an older Fioki man, maybe in his late 40s. He looks like he might be of mixed Fioki and Dej descent, because he kind of has his skin color is about is the color of like a warm lamp behind like a silk screen. So it's kind of, if you can picture that. And he's tall, but he's got you can see there's starting to be gray in his longer hair. And he approaches behind Werlin. Werlin, and he taps Werlin on the shoulder. Good sir. The lady of the house wishes to speak to you. If you have but a moment.
Very well then.
Come with me if you do. To the front of the, and he kind of starts leading you through the crowd. And you hear
I'm walking up like I belong, of course.
Karamikos, you hear this a man with a determined directly towards both you and CISO.
Sorry, you stopped for a moment after you said the word determined, and then
he's determinedly walking. It seems like someone is approaching with intent. It doesn't sound harmful, but with definite intent towards the two of you.
Yeah, so I'll tap CISO on the side and point in that direction.
Okay. So CISO, you look back and you see this somewhat older man approaching the two of you from behind, kind of weaving through the crowd.
Okay. Stay behind me, and I'll just stand my ground.
All right. What languages do you speak, CISO?
What language? I only speak one language, but what languages are there? I didn't write it in. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
I'm just trying to make sure that we both speak the same language, because otherwise none of this is going to make sense.
Okay, what language do you speak?
Dej.
All right. Dej would probably be the better language.
That's what
in this area, you're also going to get Fioki as well from so there might be a little bit of a mix of both. And the farther east you go from where you are, you're going to get more and more Fioki. Well, the farther west, when you go into Slen or Shinabeth, that is like Dej. That's mostly Dej that they speak there.
Is there a mix, or is it either Dej or Fioki?
There is kind of a mix, and there's definitely probably 75-25 in these mountains. While once you get more into the plains, you're gonna that 75-25 will kind of flip, where now there's dominantly Fioki and then about 25% Dej.
I mean, is there a dialect that's mixed? That's like a Dej Fioki mix.
That might not always play out.
Given the nature of languages, almost certainly there probably is, and there's probably some amount of fission between A and B, because that's just how languages and cultures and interact.
Right, you don't want to be the one speaking. You don't want to be the one speaking Scandinavian when you're dealing with Finnish and Norwegian, because one of them does not play very well with the others.
Right.
I think mechanically, with the game, there probably is, but it might be too fiddly to introduce that just yet. But there certainly is probably a mix of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll speak Dej then. Same thing as.
You speak Dej. Okay.
Yeah, as Karmikos.
Right, because I grew up in an area where I would have been taught Dej. It's just the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are.
Fine.
He does address you in Dej, maybe with a few of those Fioki words spun in there, and the lady of the manor wishes to speak to the two of you, if you are so inclined.
I got my arms crossed and I'm looking like, pretty big and bulky and muscular, and I whisper off the back shoulder, "What do you think?" to Karmikos.
I do believe that this is something that we should do.
Okay. And then I just nod to the man in front of me.
Please part aside, and he addresses that over you to the two guards in front of the door, and they do indeed do that and part aside and kind of open the first door. It reveals kind of a small courtyard. If you look on this map, it kind of shows the detail in this manor, where this manor house is really just a series of buildings kind of built together to give a sort of small courtyard in the very center. And he kind of kind of
Yeah, it's got that
gestures you
Greek
forward.
manor house kind of shape.
Yeah, it's a perfect description. And this is also on higher ground as well. So if you notice, if you guys read topographical maps at all, this is this is
The
probably
highest
the
point.
lowest, and then this is about 20 feet up, and then this is about 30 feet up over the ground itself. So this manor does have a nice like kind of overlook of the village and the surrounding areas. He gestures you forward, and then you notice he turns back towards the crowd, and he's peering through the crowd and looking, and this is where one of your talents comes up there, Finn, because you have the talent Forgettable Face, correct?
Yep.
And so we have this interesting thing where the lady of the house looked out the manor and she spotted you all as being foreigners. However, she pointed you out to him. However, you have a forgettable face, so he only has a 15% chance of being able to look through this crowd and be like, "Oh, there's that halfling I saw." And so, if I roll a 15 or lower, then he's spotted you, and I rolled an 81. So you see him kind of look through the crowd and peer, and you've noticed that you've noticed this elf, and you've noticed this interaction, and then them start heading into the manor house, and he's peering and looking through the crowd, and he's kind of got a scratch on his head, and he's maybe playing with his beard, and he just looks a little confused.
I'll make my way kind of over to him a bit, not necessarily directly, but kind of just casually walking in his direction until I kind of get into his line of sight and see if he happens to go, oh, that's who I'm looking for, and if he.
I will actually go ahead and take the step here and even like pretend as such and go, "Oh yes, my good friend, yes, come with us. We have a meeting to go to. Please come with us, come with us." And then I'll like, once we're actually walking, I'll like lean conspiratorially towards you and go like, "Let's rob him blind when we can."
I'm on it.
And so you moved to the front of the crowd while this was happening, and so you're standing like right there in the front and beaming, and this older guy he's looking through the crowd, and I mean he looks straight at you, and he like raises an eyebrow, like he almost recognizes you, and then he's like, no, he looks past, and Werlin kind of gives you the oh yes, my friend, him too, and the old guy kind of almost has like a slight moment of recognition, and then he's kind of like oh yeah, that's who I was looking for, and yes, come on in, and he escorts you all into the small kind of court court area, and he kind of walks past you where you've kind of grouped up and straight towards one of the doors into one of the buildings, and he kind of looks back up. Please follow me.
And of
he,
course,
he
we're all
opens the
following him.
door, and you follow him, and he leads you into a small sitting room where you see there's that same woman that I think it was only Werlin spotted is sitting there in kind of a small sitting room. It seems like it's lavishly appointed for being a small town, but that just means the chairs are of slightly nicer quality. There's some like runic embellishment on some of the wood. There might even be a cushion here or there, but there's nothing overly lavish about it. There might be a few rugs on the wall, and you can definitely see that they have some standing, but especially Werlin being an elf, this level of kind of finery you've probably spotted it at much higher levels in larger and larger towns. And Karamikos, it sounds like a nice room.
Well, I mean, I understand the shapes and what they're supposed to be of everything around me. I am echolocated.
Did you make your dolphin noise when you went in?
I don't have to make dolphin noises. You're gonna be the first to die. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's you guys that have to make the dolphin noise for him. He's just embarrassed. He's a shy dolphin.
Literally every footstep, every click of the teeth, everything you guys are making.
I can imagine him like standing in the middle of the group, and you guys are just fanning out.
I have no comments.
So she rises and she kind of beckons what looks like a serving woman out kind of where she was standing in the corner. You might not have even noticed her. Probably only Karamikos noticed her just because she was out of the way, and she kind of gestures would you like cheese, a stew, bread, or ale? Are you hungry at all?
A little bit of cheese to pass the time I think would be good. But I do believe you called us in for business, milady. I can't help but notice that I caught your eye outside, and yes, I am the one who will be able to solve your problems.
Well, I certainly hope so. Yes, please. I am Lady Iraine. I am the lady of the manor. And you, I believe, are all foreigners to Terran. I have not seen you before.
That is true. I came with a merchant caravan. I am Werlin Morhan. I'm here but to sell things, but I have other services available.
Sorry, did you say your name was Moron?
Morhan. It is of course High Elvish, and I would not expect one as low as yourself to understand. However, it loosely translated into a lesser tongue, it does mean Blackheart. And thus is my family name.
I laugh.
Adorable.
Did you say there was cheese?
Yes, there are indeed cheeses. Please, and she kind of gestures down, and this chambermaid has brought a nice there's like a stew with several bowls and some cheeses and breads and even like a pitcher of ale that she's now kind of holding. She like you kind of look at the food and she a drink.
Yes.
Huh. And she walks you through each of the cheeses. This is a little bit softer cheese. Well, this one has a nice bite. I recommend pairing these bread and cheese combo.
I'm gonna take the plate from her. Taking the entire platter.
Oh, yeah, of course. She looks just a little startled, and she sees that you have the entire plate, and she kind of, my lady, I will be right back with more refreshments. And she
Werlin, before anyone's even seen, already has a piece of the cheese in his hand.
Are you all comfortable? Says the Lady Iraine.
Your establishment is refreshing and enjoyable, my lady.
Yes.
I don't know. Could you lower the temperature by maybe, I don't know, a day?
Well, welcome to you all. I'm sorry you've come at a little bit of an awkward time for the town, but maybe it is all for the better. I'm sure since you traveled here, you did not have to travel through that thunderstorm we had 2 weeks ago, did you?
I believe it went across the mountains instead. So,
Well,
out of my path.
well, you've been spared the trouble that we have had. There was a great period of rain, and since then we've had troubling circumstances. Some of the villagers have noted a migration of animals from squirrels and mice to the birds, leaving the nearby area, and uh, it, it thought we thought nothing of it, just the animals reacting to the weather itself. But now the animals in the South Commons are huddling together, and well, some even in the east have tried to jump the fences and startled some of the villagers. It has been an awful situation. But about a week ago, that's when we started to have dreams. The daughter of Simdar of Falkney woke up screaming at night, yet remembers nothing of what woke her. And these nightmares have seemed to spread. They've spread to many of the people, and there's but nothing that we can do. We've the people are scared, and honestly, they suspect foul play from Slen, but I believe it is something more close to heart. There is a hill a little bit north of Terran, and even though our King Johto has banished and declared all religions to be false and to be cast from our kingdom, we have always had a tradition at this village of maintaining that hill, of preserving it. It might have honestly started from a religious standpoint, but now it is tradition that we maintain it, and we've continued to do so. But since those rains, everyone who goes to the hill to maintain it has those were the first to receive nightmares. And while my husband will not admit it, I believe there is something of. She kind of looks to the left and right, and the chambermaid has made her way back now, and she actually has now. You now notice that the way she's positioned, they both have a view down the other hallways, and so they both kind of give a look down the hallways, and the chambermaid nods, and she says, "My husband." My husband does not believe it. He does not want to believe it because he does not want to believe that we can have religion here, which is why I have sought to contact you. If it were to get out that my husband hired foreigners to look into a matter of potentially religious reasons, we could lose everything. I saw you in the crowds, and we need your assistance.
Layers.
I would like to take a moment. And so I've gotten information from at least 2 points, and they are at least somewhat consistent between each other of like nightmares, the hill, something religious. Could I roll some arcane lore to figure out like what fits into this box?
Yeah, you could roll an arcane lore check.
Just teeny bit over. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's the roll first, then the skill. I rolled under. Yeah, I did it.
So you I mean, you're fairly knowledgeable about arcane magics.
Mhm.
You don't know a lot of magic that seems to. You don't know personally a lot of magic that modifies dreams, and
Mhm.
at least you know that anything that modifies dreams, in your opinion, seems more to be divine. It
Yeah.
seems like the gods have more control over kind of that world of dreams than arcane wizards. There are certainly arcane wizards that are trying to like simulate that, but
Mhm.
arcane magic isn't quite there yet.
But their suspicion does check out. Someone must be doing something then.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll go. I understand the predicament you're in. I've seen it many a times in Human Village that saving face must be the primary activity of many. And I am just a traveler coming through. No one will mind when I leave or come or go, and I can do as I wish. And with the proper amount of payment, I believe we could, or I could go to the hill, see what is there, and well, perhaps get rid of it. If it's just some wandering shaman or priest or something like that, they won't last long, I'm sure.
And you speak of payment. I I do have five. I'm willing to offer each of you 5 silver to uh, do this. Partly for your discretion and partially for uh, the in partially for what you're doing as well. And Karamikas, you bring up a good point. In you and Ciso are sitting there, and she is making a pointed, remark, not really looking at Ciso. And you as well, just because you kind of you're sticking next to Ciso, but she's definitely, her body language is pointing herself towards both Werlin and Finn.
Oh, I meant that I asked a question, and she decided to answer, I guess, the elf.
And that is another thing, in that she's trying not to speak to the two of you, but you could repeat your question.
No, that's fine. It is what it is. I've said my piece.
I actually forgot what your question was. I maybe just didn't actually hear it. What was it, Theta?
No, it went past.
Okay, well.
Now this is just racism.
Hey, I got my points for the session.
So
I'm gonna finish laughing. You know, be like, ha 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 ha! You're gonna, that puny little elf, and I want to go over and smack him on the back. We'll do it, no problem.
Oh God!
5 silver.
Why did you do that? Oh,
she smiles a little weakly at you. Well, good.
Yes, 5 silver does sound acceptable. Yes. And I believe with these two at our side, they should be able to handle any problems forward with strength. Isn't that right? And I'm looking at you. Gosh, which one is your character right now? Say so. Yeah, there we go. So I'm looking at you and saying that. It's like, yeah, you're a big, strong guy. You can handle it.
I'm just gonna grunt and.
Finn is just.
And I guess at this point, I'd probably ask her like about the lay of the area, the direction, and all that, and just like get that into my head.
My butler can escort you there. He will take you to the hill that I believe is the cause of all this. He knows a way out of the manor that will circumvent the crowds, and hopefully will keep everything on the hush.
Discretion, it would be best, of course.
Yes, there is a rule for our village that no one of us, no villagers here may enter the hill, or may cross the threshold onto the hill. And so the village itself views it very superstitiously.
I see, of course. Well, since we can avoid such superstitions, I believe I am ready and I'm done with my inquiries. What about the rest of you?
Yeah.
Finn just nods as she eats some cheese and is kind of just looking around the room to see if there's anything she can snag that's shiny.
Okay.
Actually, I did have one more question. You see, about the about a little bit of the history. If I recall, there was a such and such, and I'm going to actually go ahead and do like a small distraction while she's looking around.
Okay. Make a observation check there, Finn.
Distraction is also a skill that I actually have.
So you want to roll close to your observation check. So it's over. It's let's see, about 79 away from your
Yeah, a
your
little
check.
bit.
So this would succeed a trivial check, like if something was standing out in the middle of the open. And there are a few things, and mainly the valuable things that you're seeing are, well, the plate that you're holding right now is made of silver. It looks like it could be like a sterling silver, like serving platter, and several of the cups and kind of the pitchers that they set out for your food. That's probably the most valuable thing within easy reach of you.
Okay. I'm still eating cheese off of the plate at the moment.
Okay.
Wait until it's done and then maybe try to tuck it away. We'll see.
All right. So she kind of stands then, and she says, "Then, I thank you for your assistance, and I eagerly await any results you can have. Our village thanks you."
I shall accept thanks once we are done. And I guess that's it. Let's get going.
If you follow Habas, then he will take you to the hill. And so that same older man that had taken you all here says, "Whenever you're ready."
Okay.
Well, I'll follow along. Or
Yep, I'm going with Habas.
All right, so he starts to lead the four of you off then through the into the courtyard again and throughout another door to leave on the backside of the hill.
I keep
All right.
eating the cheese on the way out. Clean the
All right, so
platter.
you just take the platter and you just keep eating. And so he escorts you out, and he kind of like side eyes you as he he still sees you have that platter of food, but he doesn't make any comments. He leads you maybe about a mile to the north, up in this direction. Let's see. Let's transfer back to the mainish map.
Yeah.
So you guys are here. I'll delete these large arrows. Also, by the way, you'll notice that this large map that I've made of Slen and the surrounding areas, it's cut from the Atlas of Calamar. So it's actually like 6 different like smaller pieces. The problem is each one of the pieces slightly overlaps. And so you'll notice like right here, there it says Nidar twice.
Oh yeah, I see.
And like there's a few spots where a river will like have like a jerky step.
Oh, you
And-
mean the Corin Woods?
Yeah, the Corin Woods.
Or the Corin
Yes.
to the N to the Woods to the S?
Yes, that. Like that sort of thing is because there's a slight overlap, and I couldn't get it to perfectly match. So
You did pretty good though. Like it's hard to notice the seams immediately, so it's good.
yeah, so just don't notice anything.
So now I'm looking for stuff.
So yeah, there's also the Upper Bith River.
Oh, you cut the R off the Rhinosh. Rhinoshok.
Yeah, so there's a few things, and I tried to correct it where I could. But so you're in the town of Terran, and you're led just a little bit farther across, actually, the Upper Bith River. There's There's a small rowboat that he rows you across the upper bith, and he takes you. Do you guys see this dot right here?
Yeah.
That's a terrible dot.
Some might call it an upwards line. That is a confusing whisper, Dennis.
It is,
I was just trying it.
it is just a mile. Looking at the scale where it's like this large
Yes.
section is 54 miles. It wasn't going to be very far on this map.
Yeah, I might fiddle. I'll probably fiddle around with the scale so that the ruler will match our dimensions. But for now, you're led just to a small hill just to the far north. It's this small hill is surrounded by a 4-foot high stone wall that's about halfway up the hill, and that you see that there's plant life that kind of grows up all around the hill, and you can see maybe there's about 10-15 feet from that stone wall where the underbrush is intact, and then there's clearly a delineation where it looks like people have been hacking away and clearing away, so it's pristine. So here, you now know where you are on the map.
Does it slope up or is it steeper?
It slopes up, and so here is the closest approximation I could find to. It's actually really hard to find a battle map with just a hill with a tree on top, and so if it's
still complete darkness.
Is it complete darkness?
Yes.
Let's see. If you drag your characters out right here
into the blackness.
Let's give it a go.
Here, actually, just so that you guys can see the entire hill, I'm going to turn off the dynamic lighting for a second.
Hey, I'm here, and the dynamic light works. I just need to be skilled.
Hey, I need to add my. How do I add my token here?
Character sheet.
Oh,
just drag off your character. Drag your character sheet.
I needed to put that
the map
in there. I hadn't put it in there yet.
Even without that, if you grab the name of your character and then drag it out, you should be able to pull out your character sheet, your character token.
Hey.
Yeah. There you go.
And for a moment, saw a flash of the inside of the hill.
Is the dynamic lighting should be turned off right now, correct?
It's on.
Oh.
Yep. It's on and working.
Okay. It's turned off right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's on.
So this is just kind of the general hill. I'm showing you because I'm going to do a few modifications to the map with like freehand. So there is a large what looks like oak tree on the very top of the hill that you can see. It looks like it's lying a little bit on its side, but you can still see the top of branches sticking out. This line right here is going to be this is the stone wall. It's about 4 feet high that rings the entire edge of the hill, and everything kind of past that line is full of underbrush, and everything on this side as well looks like it's fairly overgrown, so it'll be tough to navigate through. But now, because there could be something in there and you can't see past that stone wall, like you can't see the ground on the other side of the stone wall, I'm going to turn back on the dynamic lighting, and I'm going to ask you guys what you would like to do.
Well, you said the area is overgrown with foliage. So, as an elf, I like to sneak and hide.
All right. So the first CISO, I'm going to add your name to your. Looks like I didn't add anyone's names. No one can see anyone's names, correct?
Nope.
Correct. No. Not yet.
Also, I can see everybody's hit point total except for CISO's.
I have an unlimited amount of hit points.
Unlimited hit points.
Or you have no hit points and you're just a corpse.
Ha ha!
Does people want to see what other people's hit points are, or does that something that
I like it. It's a good measure of like, my friend is like incredibly hurt.
Or how stupid someone's being.
Exactly.
All right, I'm updating each one of your tokens. Let me know if you can still see, like, if you can now see names.
Not yet.
No.
No names, just hit points.
You should see names. Oh, I didn't check. Show nameplate.
Gotta
that
go
would
to
help.
the other.
Of
I
course,
gotta go to the other
names,
page.
like you can see names, but
of course,
it doesn't.
Griffin had to put his whole name on there, so it takes up 3 squares.
I can change that.
Hold up, I can do you one better. I'll make it
Morahan.
That's his name, isn't it?
Did I spell it right?
No.
You got it.
There's an H. There's an H after
Oh.
the R. More Han.
After
That's
the R, right?
that's Dumas.
3-point R after, right?
Ron.
The name's Dumas.
It's Mr. and Mrs. Bouquet.
Sorry, did you say your name was Dumbass?
All right, I've updated your characters. You should
What's
have.
that from?
Thank
That's
you.
gonna kill me.
It's
What's that
commercial, I think.
from?
Oh, I was gonna say I was so excited. I spent the day on the lake yesterday, and for the first time ever, I've ridden behind an inner. I got like dragged by a boat behind an inner tube.
No, that's awesome.
Nice.
I don't know why I was gonna bring that up, but
That's the first time you've
It's
ever
fun
done
stuff.
yeah, it's the first time I've ever done it. Was yesterday, and
Well,
it was so
that's
much fun.
all, too.
I tried to do
was
wakeboarding
squealing.
like a few years ago and just kept bailing every 12 seconds. The inner tube's probably easier.
I had so much fun, and I stayed on for a while too. But I was
Nice.
I was like squealing like a pig. I was so excited. All right. Now I'm gonna. All your characters were editable and seeable by everyone. So because there's different line of sights based on the different tokens, I'm actually going to modify that.
Yeah, we should
So,
start losing a little bit of vision.
Yeah, so you might lose a little bit of vision just because of that, because now you're not going to be able to see out of every token. So let me know if you can no longer see anything, because then we have a problem.
Well, what time of day is it right now?
It is daytime. It is daylight. Also, how would your character know?
Heat, temperature.
Yeah. Unless it's a particularly cold region, in which case
I just
the
want to
difference might
point
be hard
out.
to tell.
I just want to point out before this gets too thickly laid on that any insult you level at "How would your character know anything?" is an insult you're making at all blind people. So.
Oh,
Damn it!
jeez. Harsh.
Carmikos, don't you see this right here?
So just, I don't know, put yourself in the shoes of a human being who can't see and think how you might do things.
All right, the dynamic lighting should be updated. Can everyone see stuff?
Seems fine to me.
Oh, I didn't have to drop a torch. I put global illumination, so it is daytime out.
You've blinded me, ironically. Was it because of my words?
So you see exactly what you see.
Except that, again, I have, like, Daredevil vision where I can see everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally clicked the button that said all players can see light instead of has sight. So now it should have.
There we go.
Now you can see?
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go.
I mean, conceptually, I can see better than you
your
people
screen
can.
should be like infrared or something, you know?
That's Predator. You're getting it wrong again.
Still vision too.
So at this point,
Yes.
does Finn know that Karamikos is blind?
You see my token there?
Probably not.
See that giant mask that's on the
No, I
token?
understand, but I'm wondering if my character does, because my character sees things, and so I'm.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Because if I see something, I might ask you about it.
Right, okay. Well, you said you see things. I didn't know. I mean, I have visions. Like, I'm taking some crazy drugs, man.
Isn't it like a blast shield? Is that what it is?
Oh, a blast shield.
So yeah, you don't know. You probably don't know his character's blind, but you do see he's wearing a full mask with no eye holes. So you could infer that even if he had eyes, he probably couldn't see through that mask. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's not enough magic in this world that like seeing someone with a full mask, you'd be like, oh, it's a magical mask that allows them to see through it. Like your first assumption would be, wow, he hasn't ran into anything. Like
That's impressive. I didn't even hear any dolphin noises.
All right.
So you're standing here, and the the butler was here. It like reaches down to you, Finn, and is like, you can finish the cheese. You can take all the cheese, but this platter is part of a set. He's like trying to reach down and pull the platter out of your hands.
Yeah, like I'm gonna beat a strength check, but well, I'm not quite done yet, so I'll make sure that you get it back before I'm done. Before we leave here, and I'm gonna turn to keep eating on the cheese a bit, and hope that there's a distraction.
It was a mile walk. I'm surprised you didn't finish.
No, I was eating a little bit. I was eating a little slow for this purpose.
Yeah, she was savoring it. Yeah, he kind of.
And I'm gonna kind of nod at Whirlin to kind of distract him.
Whirlin's gonna shake his head at you. This is gonna be outside the line of sight of the other one.
He sighs. He kind of. Please bring this platter back. It completes a set. It's been in the family for a number of generations.
Don't worry, I will keep her to her honor. You will have the platter back, that of which I guarantee, for it would be beyond me and my kind and my honor to allow such a tiny thing to take away such a tiny thing.
And if, while he's talking to him, if I could get out of the butler's line of sight.
Just dive into the bushes?
Yeah, easily.
Kind of whatever, just kind of slide over and see if he kind of, goes, wait, what?
Yeah, he will kind of just, like, at this point, he's, please, I hope you can solve our village's problems. Lady Irene is counting on you.
And I think at this point, I'll wish him goodbye and do as I said I was thinking of doing. Start to hide in the bushes.
So the first, what you'll notice is also I've turned off the grid off the map, and that's because we're gonna try to do something where we go gridless.
Yep, I'm good for that.
And so you'll see there's going to be 2 different auras around each of your characters, and it's going to be depending on your weapon range. So what weapon do you have currently on CISO? What weapon do you do you have any weapons out?